Hello friends, welcome back to the new tutorial. Today we are going to learn about the REST API with the Node.js, Express.js and the MySQL2. Those who haven't subscribed my channel yet, please do subscribe my channel, and if you like the video, please do like, share and comment on my video. Let's get started. So first of all, you have to need a specific or the setup basic Node.js project. Okay, that means you have a Node.js installed into your system, npm. Okay, so these are the important things that you have to be installed into your whatever system you have, right? Whether it's to be Linux, whether it's to be a Windows. Okay, so install first of all Node.js project. After this, initialize a new Node.js project. Go to the terminal. Okay, so here you have to first of all make directory like REST API MySQL. Okay, then go to the directory REST API MySQL, and then here you have to initialize with the packet.json npm init. Okay, after this, install the necessary packages, that is Express, MySQL2 and the body parser. So you have to install these packages, okay? And Express the web framework to create the API. Why we are using the Express? For the web framework, for create the API. MySQL2 a Node.js client to interact with the database. Body parser is a middleware to parse the incoming request bodies. Okay. Now set up the MySQL database. So you have to use the MyDB. Okay, so let's go to the localhost minor. I think it's root. Okay, there's a MyDB. Let's create the table over there. So this is the table for the users. Okay, so let's go to the SQL command and we're going to use create that one, execute it, and we have the users, right? Let's move to the next process. Okay, so here we have the structure my API. So first of all we have to create the config. Let's go to the code base. Okay, so first of all let's create the folder that is config. Then we have a controllers. What controls that? Yes, again root folder controllers. Then we have a models. Okay, now we have to create the routes. Okay, then we have to create the services, then middlewares. Okay, then we have to go with the server.js file, that is the entry point to start the server. Okay, and packet.json dependencies and the scripts. Okay, so config database configuration, controllers logic for handling the request, user model DB interaction SQL queries, routes API route definition, services business logic, and the middleware custom error handling optional. Okay, so let's create the config that db.js file. Okay, here we have to create a new file that is db.js. Okay, this is done. Let's copy paste this data. Okay, this is the connection part. Okay, so replace our root and this is my password. Okay, so replace with that one and the database. Okay, this is done. Moving to the next part, we have a model. Okay, so here we have all the queries that we want for the CRUD REST API. So let's go to the controllers. This is controllers or what? Model. So let's create the user model.js. Okay, let's use this. Okay, now we have to go with the services. Let's create the user services. So here we have the services. Okay, moving to the next one, we have the controllers. I will explain each and everything. User controllers. So here we have the users controller. Then we have a routes, user routes. Okay, so here we have all the routes that we require, that is get users, users by ID, delete and everything. Okay, so here you can see that the routes are there. Okay, the next one, the last one, that is optional, that is middleware error handler.js. So let's go to the middleware and create that one, that always come to the any of the request. So in that case, if you have a login, you have a authentication process, then you can create the middleware for that one. The last one, that is server.js file. Okay, so let's add this and it's done. Okay, so let's run this project. Otherwise you can use the node mode for that or pm2 for that. Okay, server.js. So server is running and the MySQL is connected. Okay, so let's run step by step the API and we will understand the code step by step. Okay, so first of all, let's go. This is our server.js file, right? So here we have our express routes error handler as a middleware. So we have include into our app. So whenever we have any kind of API is calling, so it will go with the error handler also. Okay, and this is our user routes. Use user routes slash API. Okay, and this is the port where it is listening. Okay, so first of all, let's go to the routes. And the routes we have using the express router for that one, router.get user. First of all, list the get users before we have to post some of the data. So slash users. Okay, so here we go with our postman API slash users post request. Let's make the data. So we have ID, name and email, not the password. So let's remove it and let's create the first record. Rajnikant. Okay, save this and the record is inserted. Let's go to the select data is there. Let's add one more record, test. Okay, select data, test. So here you can see that we have post the request. Let's go to the logic. So this is post user controller create user. So here we have the create user. This is the controller file. So here we require the user services. Okay, so here we are calling the create function. So name and email from the request body we want, and then we have a service user service dot create user with the name and the email. So let's go to the create user. So this is your service. Okay, and in the service section we are calling the model. Okay, so here you can see that service model, we have a user model, create user, name and the email. So we are using user model. Okay, and in the user model we have the create user. Okay, so return new promise, resolve or reject. Until or unless it is resolved, then return the data. Okay, insert into users, we require name, email with their values, and if error, reject. And if it is done, then resolve with id result, insert id, name and the email. So it is returned, it is resolved, and here you can see that we fetch the data with id, name and the email. Okay, so this is the flow that's coming up. Okay, so the user model, first of all, go with our routes. Okay, routes, we have a create user, and then in the controller we have this function. Okay, so the controller have the HTTP request. So here we are getting all the data, then we are sending to the user service for the create user. Okay, and here we are using the model for creating that one, where you can we have to database operation that we have to perform inserting into the database for the users table. Correct? So first step we have done. Now we have to go with another one, that is get all users. So get all users, this is the controller first, and get all users function in the user service. Okay, then the model for getting all the users, so select star from users. Okay, let's hit the, this is get request. Now let's call this, and we are getting all the data that we have inserted. Okay, the next one, let's move to the next one, go to the routes again, get users by ID. Okay, so here we have the first, we require the params, that is ID, and then await user service. So here we have a user service with get user ID. So here we have in the service we have a get user ID, and we're calling the user model to with this function get user by ID and passing their ID. And what it will do, by ID we have to fetch the data. Okay, so select star from users where ID is equal to, we have to pass the ID, right? Let's try it out with this one. Okay, it's first record. If I put the second one, so I need the second record. Okay, so this is how you can fetch that one with the get. Now we have put with ID, so we have to update the user. Okay, so we have to request the body with name and the email, and then we are calling the update user. We are sending ID, name and email to the update user. So here we are in the services, we have update user, and we're calling the user model. Okay, so if the affected rows is 0, that no user in found, and return, if it is found, then return the ID, name and the email. Okay, then go to the update user. So here we are to update the data into the database table. So update user, set name, email where ID is to be. Okay, then hit the API, that is put, and this is the request, and let's make the IDs 2, and this needs to be changed with, okay, let's check updated, updated. Let's check the ID 2, updated. Okay, so this is how you can do the update request also. Okay, the last one, that is delete one, delete user. So we require the ID, go to the delete user, delete user user service. Okay, here we require the ID, and we have the user model delete user. So delete from the users where ID is equal to, and return the results. Okay, so if I go over there, let's make a delete request, and the record is deleted and there is no record second. Okay, so this is how you get able to, and here at the last we have a module exports, get all users, all we have to export. Okay, same with the routes, module exports router, and in the services also. Okay, see the code, we have to export all this, and same with the controllers also. Okay, module dot exports get users, or is a create user, update, delete user. Okay, and here we require the user service, right? And this is config controller. I think I showed all the code right now. Okay, so any doubt, any query in that, do let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.